Now, what we will see is modulation. What do you mean by modulation? Now, in the books they have not given anything, but I'll explain to you verbally, and it's not a very difficult thing to remember or understand even. See, I just now told you we had even audio frequency band in which you can hear the normal human being can hear, and after that we said after that band is over, the 20 kilohertz, after 20 kilohertz onwards we cannot hear anything, but we classify that band which we cannot hear into radio frequency band. And of course, as the band strength increases, the transmission power of the radio waves increase, whatever navigational aids we are using. All right, modulation and sideband. So now what they say here is modulation is the process of superimposing the audio frequency signals intelligence over the radio frequency carrier. So actually the radio frequency wave which do not have intelligence, they do not have intelligence, but they have strength. They have strength. We know they have strength, and they can go to very long distances. As like I told you, sky waves and all. They can go to very long distances, but they don't have intelligence. They don't have intelligence. Intelligence, what we speak, is in audio frequency. That is the audio frequency. So why don't we have a process, or why don't we devise a process by which we can put our speech intelligence, whatever we are talking, we can put this speech intelligence, that is the audio frequency speech intelligence, and put it over the radio frequency. Superimpose this. That means put it over this radio frequency, and radio frequency will carry it to our desired station. Our speech will be carried, because we can't shout 100 miles and somebody will listen to us. Now, how we do send our voice 100 miles away? So no issue. We just put our voice on a thing which can take it away. That is the radio carrier wave. That's why we call it a radio carrier wave. Carrier. It carries. It carries. It's like a transport. It is just used for carrying. There is no intelligence in that, but strength. It can travel thousands and thousands of miles altogether. So in this radio frequency, whatever we produce, RF, we superimpose the audio frequency. We mix these two things, like superimposing. The process of mixing or superimposing audio frequency, our speech intelligence, over the radio frequency carrier wave in order that it travels to far distances. This entire process is known as modulation. It is known as modulation. Okay, suppose you send your signal from, say, Mumbai. You want to send your signal to Kolkata. So you must know how much transmission power you will require to send your signal from Mumbai to, rather your speech from Mumbai to Kolkata. Okay, once you have that decision, after, you can't change the strength of the audio frequency. Audio frequency is maybe 20 kilohertz. You cannot increase more than that, because after that, if you increase, nobody can hear it. But that has to be within limits. Audio frequency has to be within limits. But radio frequency strength can be increased by the power of transmission. So suppose I say audio frequency of, say, 20, audio frequency of 20. Now I want to send to Kolkata. Suppose I find out to go to Kolkata, I require a radio carrier wave as much as, say, 500 megahertz. 500 megahertz is enough for me to send it to Kolkata. So what I did, the audio frequency strength of 20, this audio frequency strength of 20, I superimposed on the radio frequency strength of 500. 500. This process was known as modulation, and I sent it to Kolkata. So what went to Kolkata was 20 plus 500. In that 20, what was that? AF. Audio frequency was 20. And what was that 500? That was RF. So AF plus RF, that is 20 plus 500 is how much? 20 plus 500, I believe, is 520. 520. Now, what is the total strength I got from audio and radio both? 20 plus 500 is 520. So I can call this 520 the total strength of audio and radio together. I can call it as the upper side band. This I can call as the upper side band. We can call it the upper side band. All right. Now next, apart from this, keep it on one side. We got the upper side band. Now doing modulation is not enough. I sent the signal to Kolkata, but Kolkata will not understand anything from that, because I sent my speech with the radio frequency mixed together, modulated together, and sent there. So Kolkata must have a receiver there which will demodulate it. It will separate the audio, because Kolkata is not interested in the radio. We are nobody interested now. Even I'm not interested in the radio. My interest in that radio was to carry my signal from Mumbai to Kolkata. That is done. Now work of radio is over. I must separate this radio and audio both. Again, they had their own identities before modulation. Modulated, they have no individual identity now. That is AF plus RF now. Now I want the individual identity. I must distinguish between audio and radio again. I must separate them. So demodulation is done at Kolkata. The receiver in the Kolkata station will do the demodulation part. It will separate the audio frequency from the radio frequency. When demodulation is done, again, what will happen? First, initially 20 plus 500 was audio frequency plus radio frequency was 520. That was upper side band. Similarly, when demodulation is done, 20 will be subtracted, removed from 500. 20 will be removed from 500. That will be 480. What will be left behind is 480. That is known as the lower side band. The difference between the upper side band and the lower side band is known as the bandwidth. The upper side band is audio plus radio. Lower side band is radio minus audio. Whatever values we get for AF plus RF, and whatever values we get for RF minus AF, these two values, whatever is contained in this between these two values, is known as the bandwidth. This is known as the bandwidth. See, in the first case it was 520, 500 plus 20. Okay, upper side band 520, and now we got 500 minus 20, 480. So now bandwidth is how much? Bandwidth is how much now in this case? Can anybody tell me difference between that? What is how much is the bandwidth? Can anybody unmute yourself and tell me fast? 500 plus 20. What was 500? Radio frequency. What was 20? Audio frequency. So upper side band is 520. When we demodulated this, 500 minus 20, 500 minus 20. What was that now? 480. And upper side band was 520. So bandwidth is from 520 to 480. How much is that? Bandwidth is how much? 40, na? Bandwidth is 40. Are you getting it? Bandwidth is 40. So this 40 is the bandwidth in which you can operate or you can transmit after modulation and after demodulation. So what you must remember here is modulation is the process by which we superimpose audio frequency speech intelligence over radio frequency carrier wave, which carries the signal. Okay. Now, modulation can be of two types. Like one is audio frequency modulation. In audio frequency modulation, we can say two types of modulations will come in. One is amplitude modulation. Second one is frequency modulation. First, we will do amplitude modulation. What is when superimpose the audio frequency signal over the carrier frequency? If amplitude of the modulated carrier changes, when you are doing this, whatever audio frequency you impose on radio carrier wave remains same. Audio frequency will remain same, but the amplitude of the modulated carrier amplitude increased or decreased. It changes. Then this is known as amplitude, because in you are playing with amplitude, not with the frequency. Frequency is constant. Audio frequency is constant. Only the amplitude is changed. Whenever you change the amplitude in a transmission, increase, that is known as amplitude modulation. AM, that is known as amplitude modulation. Okay. Then one is frequency modulation. That is FM. When we are superimposing the audio frequency over the carrier frequency, if the amplitude of the modulated carrier remains constant, but the frequency changes, then we can say it is FM. Now I'll give you a very good example. All of you listen to FM stations at home, right? I must be having an FM radio or whatever. In that you will find, suppose you are staying in Mumbai or Delhi, somewhere, wherever you are staying in Bangalore, the FM has a range. Bangalore, all the maybe 5 FM stations in Bangalore. Suppose there is 91.9, there is 108 point, whatever. These are the different frequencies of the FM stations of Bangalore, but they all have a same range. If you take a radio, FM radio, and go out of Bangalore, out of the range, suppose the range is 25 fixed or 30 miles from Bangalore, you take and try to tune on any frequency, you will not get any one out of these 5 stations out of that range. Because the FM, in FM, what happened? Only the frequencies that change. In frequency modulation, only the frequencies that change, but the amplitude was constant. Amplitude was constant. We wanted to send it, the power was constant. We wanted to send it only up to 25 or 30 miles. So we don't increase the power. It went only up to that, irrespective of the frequency on which you tuned it. But in amplitude modulation, is not that. Amplitude modulation with Bharti is an example of amplitude modulation. With Bharti, the frequency is constant. There is no change. If with Bharti in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Kolkata, in Chennai, wherever you listen to with Bharti, the frequency will not change. But why? Because we increase the power. I want to send with Bharti some transmission to Kolkata, or I want to change it to Chennai. I want to change it to Bangalore. I accordingly, as per distance, I've increased the power. I've increased the amplitude of the transmission, keeping the frequency same. Frequency, there was no change. Such a modulation in which the frequency does not change, only the transmission power, amplitude constantly keeps on changing up or down. That, as per our requirement, the range required, is known as amplitude modulation, and in which the frequency changes and the amplitude remains constant. No change in the amplitude. The power will remain same. Transmission power will remain same. Only the frequencies will change. That is known as frequency modulation. Okay. No need to do pulse modulation. It is not for you. So you must know these two things. What is amplitude modulation? What is frequency modulation? Apart from just now, I told you, you go to page number 32. On page number 32, you will see the sideband. Sideband are additional frequencies which occur whenever a carrier is modulated by a frequency lower than itself, particularly audio frequencies. See, in this, they've given you same like example. See, two frequencies will be produced: carrier frequency plus audio frequency, that is RF plus AF. Carrier frequency minus audio frequency, that is RF minus audio frequency. When modulation takes place and when demodulation takes place. When modulation takes place, they give an example, like I have given example, they also give an example. Suppose you have a say 500. Okay, you have a wave of say 500. On that you radio wave of 500. On that you superimpose an audio tone of 2. Then the resultant side frequency will be 498 and 502. Why? Because 500 plus 2 is 502. RF plus AF, upper sideband, that is 502. Lower sideband will be 500 minus 2 will be 498. That will be the lower sideband. So you can say that what is the bandwidth between 498 and 502, and that is the 4 kilowatt. That is the bandwidth. That same example I gave of different values. In my case, it was the bandwidth was 40 because I gave the values were different there. Okay, so upper sideband, lower sideband. Upper sideband is RF plus AF, lower sideband is RF minus AF. When does this occur? RF plus AF while modulation takes place, RF minus AF when demodulation takes place. Whatever frequencies are between RF plus AF and RF minus AF, those are known as the bandwidth that is available for use. Right now, tomorrow, this is enough for the day today. Tomorrow we will go to the moment I start the class, I will start with VOR. I'll do VOR, and then we'll go to DME, and then maybe in the next session, maybe in the after the rejoining part is done, I will discuss your ILS system. So the all three important systems we will do tomorrow, and of course the whatever the future planning after that, when we will conduct the mock test, etc., and how we will really go about it, that I will tell you all in tomorrow's class. And apart from that, see, this class may be ending tomorrow. That is not the matter. For me, the class never ends till you get your RTR license. That's my personal opinion. So whenever, even after the class ends, don't think the things are over. You can message on the group or call me personally for any such thing which comes to your mind at any time. It is not that you pay the fee once and I taught you once and that the thing is over. No, no, no. We will be together. Even if I take another batch of RT, whatever, that is irrespective. I will be together till you get your license. Okay. Now it's up to you whenever you are appearing for your exam. maybe 1 year, 6 months, when things normalize from this corona issue, whenever the exams are conducting, okay, whenever you appear, don't think I took a class 7 months back before, now sir will guide me or no. Nothing of that sort. Even after 1 year, if you call me or drop a message on my personal WhatsApp number, I will make it a point to guide you and help you out, okay, at all times, right? See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.